Christians, John 10, verse 4. Our Lord says, and when he brings out his own sheep, he goes out before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. Now, he just said in verse 3 that his sheep hear his voice, and he calls his own sheep out by name. And in verse 4, he says, and when he brings out his own sheep, he goes out before them. And his sheep, they follow him because they know his voice. Now, here's what Christians, you need to understand. Jesus says that when he calls his own sheep out by name, he goes before them and they follow him. Again, it's not something they decide about. It's not something they contemplate. It's not something they discuss intellectually. There's no exercising of a freedom of will, a free will. Nothing like that. That's where these sheep say, no, I don't do it. He is using the metaphor of sheep for a reason, because he is describing what happens, not the possibilities of what could happen. He's saying what does happen. He brings out his own sheep. He brings them out. He does it. They don't bring themselves out. He brings them out. Look at the verse. He brings them out. Then he goes before them. He goes before them. He brings them out. He goes before them. And then it says, and the sheep follow him because they know his voice. They know it. They know it. And know doesn't just mean they recognize his voice. It means they love his voice. They know him. They love him. His voice is the sweetest sound to their ears. This is what this means. He's talking about his elect people, his elect sheep, not goats, his sheep. There are two classes of people on this earth. There are sheep and there are goats. The goats don't know the voice of Jesus. Only the sheep know his voice, and they follow him and they know him. I don't know why this is so difficult for so many people to grasp, but be provoked and be persuaded.